Yes, welcome along to the 20th and final episode of Upping The Ante in association with Bet365 with David Jennings and Gavin Lynch. Looking back at the 2022 Cheltenham Festival. Gavin, we got back in one piece anyway. That's the most important thing. How was your week?
Yeah, sure. It was, about the racing, it was just an amazing week. So many thrills and spills, brilliant performances. I was over there, went over Monday, back Wednesday night, and my main recollection is how fantastically nice English people are, Welsh and Scottish, just such lovely people. Brilliant few days. I got back, watched Thursday in town here, and then Friday was at home on my own watching it, so it was a nice way to calm down a bit for Friday.
Tell me this, it has been a few years since you'd been at Cheltenham. Yeah. I've been trying to drag you back, was it worth it, and will you go again?
I'll go on and off. I wouldn't say I'll go every year, because I loved it, but I also like going away and just relaxing watching it. So maybe every second year or something, yeah. But as I said, the friendliness and everything from people over there was amazing. Now
we're going to review the festival, and Gavin has immaculate notes. Show them on camera there, turn them around. Immaculate notes that I have.
Anyway.
And we're going to review all the races, but before we get there, just one. I just want one highlight, just one moment last week where you went, wow.
I suppose it was probably galloping the champ before he came to the last. To stretch away from a horse like Bob Ollinger, he wasn't beating ordinary horses, he was beating...
Was it really Bob Ollinger?
Yeah, that's a fair point too. Really? That's a fair point. Galloping was amazing. Constitution Hill was... blow the doors off in the first. Honeysuckle, the Gold Cup was always the best race for me every year. The Champion Chase was a bit of a letdown.
So we'll keep him with the show. Gavin's not giving one. Will we get on with the show?
Yep.
Let's go with the show. So, of course, you know by now we're going to kick off with our questions from the crowd. And the first question this week comes in from Kevin Costello. And Kevin wants to know, what was the best ride of the entire week and what was the worst?
Some brilliant rides. Derek Fox and Corrick Rambler. I thought Nico de Boinville on Marie's Rock was exceptional. A lot of people will mention Danny in the Stairs. I'll give it to Patrick Mullins on Billoway. Even though
broke your heart.
He broke my heart, yeah, because I can never get that horse right. I backed Wing Leader, and just an amazing performance by horse and rider. Billoway's jumping is always a bit iffy, but Patrick never gave up, so brilliant from Patrick, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic, right? Was it one of them, you were on Wing Leader obviously, right?
Yeah.
Was it one of them where halfway up the run and you were going to go, this is just typical, this is just, you know, you're the founding member of the Billoway fan club and he comes and nabs
Yeah,
but
sure, look, that's horse racing for you. At least in the following race, I kind of won a photo finish, so there you go, you can't get them all.
Swings and roundabouts.
Yeah. And yourself,
best ride of the week was for me in the following race. I thought Mark Walsh and Ellie May. I tweeted, I said, Ellie said nay and Mark said no way. He just was not accepting defeat. Never thought she was travelling. She never jumped with any real conviction at all either. She was climbing over the fences.
Yeah, I suppose she's not the biggest and it's probably a struggle for her, but she was very brave and honest, especially when Scarlet and Dove crossed her and she had to switch out.
Now you obviously tipped her on the show with 8-1. All along she was the one. You napped her in your pre-Cheltenham preview. Were you ever happy at any stage?
Well, I kind of was, because I thought Mount Ida was in trouble from the get-go, jumping slow onto a right, which we thought might happen. And then when Concertista made the bad mistake, say 5 out and 3 out, I thought there wasn't a lot left to beat. So I thought she was probably favourite, maybe turning in, and then I thought she wasn't.
Okay.
But anyway.
You were more confident than me. I thought she was never going to win, and then she just won.
Yeah,
I thought Mark Walsh was epic on Ellie May.
And your worst ride?
But I'm giving the worst ride to Mark Walsh as well. Now, there's a little bit of pocket talk here, because I was very keen on Andy Dufresne in the Grand Annual. And he was absolutely tanking at the top of the hill. And from the top of the hill to the third last, somehow he lost maybe 3 or 4 lengths. And I don't know how, on a point-to-point winner over 2 miles, I thought he could have been a little bit closer to Global Citizen. You seen coming up to the line, he was actually staying on again. I thought that was one that got away, because I thought that was Andy Dufresne's one shot at a big race.
But if he was well handicapped, he would have got him out of jail.
He would, Gavin. That is very good. That is very good.
My worst, I looked at all 28 races yesterday, and one of the things was to watch out for good and bad rides. I couldn't find really a bad ride for the meeting, except in the Stairs hurdle. Danny was brilliant, Canny Danny, but I just thought the other jockeys were a bit asleep.
So I don't know many runners there were, but you're giving it to 10 bad rides.
No, there was 10 in it, so 9 bad rides in the same race. Fair enough early on that he got a solo, but at the top of the hill, he was only a length clear. Maybe something could have joined him to...
And you were on, obviously, Florian Porter.
Yeah, I just thought the other jockeys kind of gave it to him.
Okay, fair enough. There you go. All the losing jockeys in the Stayers hurdle. Our second question this week comes in from Paul Finnegan, and Paul wants to know, give us one horse that was beaten at the Cheltenham Festival that you will definitely be back in next time.
Depending on the betting, but in Punchestown, if Wing Leader's an each way price, I'll back him each way again. His jumping is fantastic.
Rob, doesn't he?
Well, I'd say Barry O'Neill won't be buying Jamie Codd a Christmas present anyway, because Jamie took him on a long way out.
Softened him up.
And softened him up he got very tired at the end. So maybe Wing Leader each way in Punchestown. And you?
Okay, mine would be Caprand, tipped up on the show at 33-1, and then the rain came. I thought for a novice over that trip on that ground to run the way he did was exceptional. I cannot wait for good ground 3 miles for this horse.
Even 3 miles?
3 miles Aintree.
Not 2.5?
No, 3 miles at Aintree. I just think he just is a galloper. He's a relentless galloper on decent ground, and I think his jumping will be better over 3 miles. I really hope the
tight track will probably suit him on better ground when he travels and jumps.
Yeah, I think off 140, I don't think he's going to go up for finishing 4th. I think off 140, he's still a well-handicapped horse. So mine would be Caprand, and Gavin's is Wing Leader. And our third and final question this week comes in from Mary Kennelly. Thanks very much, Mary, for this one. Appreciate it. And Mary wants to know, what have we learnt most about this year's festival? And she says, David, you didn't tip a single winner in your Ante-Post list. What happened? Am I going to change my philosophy? And the answer is probably yes, Mary. Okay, I went with an approach of trying to find maybe one big price winner that was going to put me in profit for the week. Okay, so I had Caprand 33-1, went off much shorter price. Obviously, Burning Victory was another 33-1 shot, went off a much shorter price. And then Paul Nicholls decided, you know what, I'm going to throw the rest of the ties out of the pram. You know what, I'm just going to give in and throw in the towel. Didn't run Time White in the Grand Annual, tipped up at 33-1, despite the fact that he'd won on heavy ground in France and he'd won on really soft ground at Doncaster over Christmas. So thanks for that, Paul. But obviously bitterly disappointed. We'll review the tips later on in the show. Only managed to get 11 horses there out of 24 to run in their races. 4 seconds. Yeah, it was disappointing, I have to say. Hold my hands up, it was a horror show for me. But I probably mightn't be going for the sixes all the time. I think you need to just knock a few singles here and there. Maybe try and find your Stattlers. Like, I didn't put in Statler any week because he was never any bigger than real 7-2.
No, 7-2, yeah.
And he ended up being my banker of the week. But on this show, I thought he went off 2-1 a day. He was never going to be value at the price he was at the time. So next year, Gavin, I'm going to try and knock a few singles, maybe a few 2s and 3s, not shooting for 6s all the time. So that's my lesson, Mary, and I apologise for all my selections. Gavin, what did you learn?
What did we learn? One is that we need to be patient with Willie Mullins' horses in terms of which race they're going to go for and stuff, so that, Facile Vega, people will be mad about him for the Supreme. Is he definitely going to go there, or is he going to go to Ballymore? And all this stuff, again, that'll go on until next February. So just maybe
until
we need to...
2046 it'll go on, is it?
Yeah, so we maybe need to be more patient there. And also we'll talk later on that English horses did quite well in the handicaps, particularly in handicap chases. So we'll talk about that later.
Okay, so they may stay tuned, Gavin. That was your questions from the crowd. So now, folks, it's time for the week that was. Yes, Gavin Lynch's chance to tell you all about the horses who have impressed him over the last 7 days. Not much happened in the last week, Gavin, did it?
Yeah, we're going to start in Stratford on Monday. No, we're not.
Okay, so you're going to talk about
we'll just briefly,
races.
We'll briefly talk about each race. So starting on Tuesday with an amazing performance by Constitution Hill. He won by 22 lengths. He has this morning got an official rating of 170. Which is just amazing. Which is
higher than Bouvardere got after winning his second Champion Hurdle. Bouvardere, after winning his second Champion Hurdle, was rated 169.
Yeah, no, it was a fantastic performance.
Is it a bit mad?
No, I'd say it's fair enough, judging by times. Now, one thing just to keep in mind, yesterday I went and hand-timed it against the Champion Hurdle. So it was the guts of 6 seconds quicker than the Champion Hurdle. That's 24 lengths. But calm down a little bit, is that I timed it from the last hurdle plus a circuit to the line. And Constitution Hill was 4 seconds quicker. 4 lengths, which was 1 second quicker. So It's not 20 odd. I think the most of the 20 lengths was in the first couple of furlongs. Yeah. So I don't think you're comparing apples with apples.
That's very clever, Gavin.
If you start with the last hurdle plus the circuit, there was only 4 lengths between them. The other thing you have to point out as well is that this year Constitution Hill carried 11.7. Next year in the Champion Hurdle he has to carry £3 more, which is 11.10. So that puts them very, very close. Her rating is 165 plus the £7 she gets. He has to be a freak to beat her, but he could be a freak. So brilliant performance.
So you know what I'm going to ask now. If Michael Buckley gets his way and they line up in the Champion Hurdle at Punchestown, who wins?
Punchestown, maybe the mayor, but I'd say next year it could go his way because she's turning 9, which I'd never be.
Oh, she's getting on, Gavin.
She's getting on, yeah. On to the Arkle, 13 fences to jump. We mentioned, I think you liked Edward Stone as well. His jumping was amazing. Absolutely brilliant. He also done the Nina Carby, a little bit of a dance to miss the couple of the.
They were going with Patrick Swayze, I think, on telly. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't see that. Yeah. Brave Shaska fell, so he had to miss him. Jump brilliant, fantastic ride for Tom Cannon. I was in a pub on the Monday and somebody heard down the road that Mick Fitzgerald was talking to Tom Cannon and he was telling him to wait and wait. But he actually picked the perfect time, because if he'd waited any longer...
Gavin Ackle?
No, Gordon Elliott's mare would have...
Riviere de Tell,
yeah. So he just got there at the right time, so perfect time and great ride. Corrick Rambler, we mentioned that Derek Fox won by 2 3/4 lengths in the Ultima. Came from nearly last, was second last most of the way around, so fantastic ride. A novice win in the handicap chase. Honeysuckle, she won by 3.5 lengths. Now last year she ended up beating Epatante by 9.5. She beat her by 3.5 this year. No huge improvement. Couple of
different
disappointments.
Epatante though, was it?
Yeah, probably slightly better ground maybe. Appreciate and T Hooper ran poorly, so Zanni ran quite well. Probably not the greatest champion hurdle in the world, so. But she can only win again, as she always does.
Brilliant performance though.
Yeah, and Henry made a good point. The talking about Constitution Hill's time, he said if they go quicker next year's champion hurdle, he said that'll suit her more.
Like to win 15 in a row, to beat Frankel's record, like to be tuned up and cherry ripe every single time, to keep winning.
Yeah.
That is far more remarkable than one standout performance from Constitution Hill, who I absolutely adore and have always adored. I think he's amazing. But what she has done is way better than what Constitution Hill has done.
You even see it there. Like Shishkin was literally the best horse in training before last week. The ground gets heavy, he couldn't go on it. Yeah. But she's never had an excuse. So she's an amazing mare. It's between her and Dawn Run for the best mare ever, really.
Yes, absolutely.
Marie's Rock, my horse, Tell Me Something Girl, was tanking, coming to 2 out, I thought.
Was she?
Yeah, I thought she was going
tanking.
Great. Yeah, I thought she was cruising on the outside. But Nico gave Marie's Rock a brilliant ride down the inside and then switched out and in the end won quite well. She's got a nice turn of foot. Anybody who backed Gaelic Warrior, they're probably crying into their tea or their soup.
Cornflakes,
or cornflakes.
Why?
And no, just to be beaten a short head.
Oh, yeah.
But if you go and watch the race again, which I did yesterday, Brazil would have been the unluckiest loser of the Cheltenham Festival. Coming up past the stands with that hurdle, it was actually Gaelic Warrior that caused the ripple effect. He was knocked out to the wide outside. So he's a very, very good horse. Mm-hmm. And don't forget, he carried 11 stone, 11.9, whereas Gaelic Warrior only carried 11.1. So to give him £8 was unlucky and to beat it, I'd say he could go very well in the Grade 1 at Punchestown. I'm not saying he'll win it, but I'd say he'll be in the first 3.
Okay.
On to Statler, who absolutely bolted up the National Hunt Chase.
Go on, Statler. Go on.
You just wonder, I don't know, I know the race has been there forever, but you just wonder, as that race ran its course, perhaps? Like there was only, 6 in it?
There was 4 very good horses, though.
I know, but Statler maybe should have been in the Brown Advisory.
You didn't fancy him, did you?
Statler?
Yeah.
In the end, I didn't fancy anything in the race in the end. But the horse I had in mind was not runner. So Gerhard jumped brilliant in the Ballymore. His jumping had come into question the last time in Leopardstown. He was very, very keen, but his jumping was brilliant. He's an exceptional horse. To go and win in that ground by 3.5 lengths. Like we were there on the Wednesday. We weren't going to go and then we did go. They said there was 21 mils of rain. Came, it felt like it was 40.
It felt like my shirt was soaking.
It just lashed all day. Yeah. It was incredible.
And it was one of them ones where no matter if I was going from me to you, I'd still get wet.
Yeah.
It was real wet rain. It was horrible
wet rain.
Horrible day.
But he's a super horse. Now, whether he's going to go novice chasing or go to the champion hurdle, we don't know. So you have to wait till next week.
Will he'll tell us nice and early anyway.
He will, yeah. Long Press.
Well done.
No bothers. Long Press won by 3.5 lengths. A brilliant ride for Charlie Deutsch. High Seigneur was leading, then he led. High Seigneur made a bad mistake, looked like he was going to fall out the back of the television, and he stayed on very well to be second.
He's a fair engine, doesn't he, High Seigneur? Just if
he does, yeah.
The jumping together.
Is he going to win a Welsh National or a Grand National or a Gold Cup? I don't know. We'll see. I just would slightly question the form with Gallard de Menil only beaten 5 lengths. Long Press has a chance in the Gold Cup, but he'll have to improve a lot to go and win a Gold Cup. I don't think it was the strongest Brown Advisory ever. Commander of Fleet at 50-1. It just shows if you roll the dice, things can happen for you. So it won't be a short head. There was a lot of money, I think, pre-race for fast or slow.
Yeah, Tom Siegel in the Racing Post, yep.
Over the last couple of weeks especially. And so he just hung on by a short head. On to the Champion Chase. It's a pity the race fell apart a bit. Shishkin he was nearly gone after the first fence.
Can't just be crowned. Can't be.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Can't be crowned. No, it can't be. Maybe Ascot, he was feeling the effects of Ascot, but...
Maybe so.
Like it wasn't...
It might be a combination of things.
It might be a combination of things, but how many did he jump? 6 fences?
And pulled up, yeah. And then 10 seconds later, Shaka Persois fell, or unseated Patrick. So the race completely went from 0 to 0 in the space of...
Shaka Persois jumped very well, actually, at that point, yeah.
As usual, yeah. But Energamine didn't have much to beat in the end.
Terrific article by Patrick Mullins in Tuesday's Racing Post. Go out and buy it, read it. and you just get into a mind of a jockey.
I read it, yeah.
How could he get the best jumper in training on the deck? Like, it's just, you can almost feel his pain. Obviously, had a fantastic week, 3 winners, but that's the one he remembers. Like,
yeah, no, sure. They're tough boys now.
Did he have 3 winners?
Patrick, yeah.
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
What was the third one?
Statler, the bumper, and also the Hunter's Chase.
Hunter's Chase, by the way, that was one I was
But Energumene, brilliant, especially on that ground. He loves that ground. He stays forever. The cross country.
Now, are they watching? Are you watching, Michael Nettie? Are you watching? Because what? Like,
I don't know. Look at.
I'm not over it yet.
No, I'm not over it yet. And everybody around me that was watching it, we're all going, like, what just happened there?
I know.
I don't know. It was like the day
They were told what might happen. Don't do it.
Yeah, we even said it here a few weeks ago. That can't happen. He'd get booed if he'd done that, and that's what happened. But look, I suppose on the positive side, the integrity of racing was upheld by Jack.
Fair play, Jack.
Well done, Jack. I was surprised he'd done that in front of David.
He was delighted. I interviewed him afterwards, and I said, "Do you feel a bit bad?" No, I'm delighted to get a winner.
Yeah,
like it's a lovely mentality to have. And look, it was a glorious occasion. It was like a brilliant fairy tale with just not quite the happy ending.
Yeah, no, I'd say when Jack eventually has kids, he won't be letting the kids win the Monopoly or the table tennis or nothing.
He'd be like you. He'd be as competitive as anything.
On to the Grand Annual, 10-year-old global citizen up in the van, as you say, maybe Andy Dufresne went off favourite, very, very heavy.
12-1 I tipped him at. 12-1 he went off.
Yeah, now he was beaten 3 lengths in the end.
He was well beaten in the end. Yeah.
Facile Vega is another jet. We've mentioned Constitution Hill as a jet. Facile Vega is a jet. Very bad start at the bumper, got in the wrong position after a furlong, was knocked about a second time during the race. Then they came down, they had to do the slalom, the ski slope, they had to avoid Joe's water splash. They then came down to the third last, had to turn right, do the chicane, round by the fence, up the thing,
You've practiced that.
I haven't.
That was very impressive.
And he's a beast now. He's a proper horse. American Mike might be good enough to maybe go and win a Ballymore, perhaps, but that's if Facile Vega doesn't show up, because
they
he won't be
inviting him. Yeah. Thought the third house ran a gorgeous race, James's Gate.
Yeah, and also Seabank Bistro. He could be a horse for a Ballymore or even an Albert Bartlett.
Yep.
He's won over further already. On to Thursday, and first race was the Turners. The place I was watching it, there was 500 people. I was sitting beside Paul Carberry, and afterwards Paul said that Paul Townend did nothing wrong. I seen a side angle, and actually what was quite unlucky for Galpin Deschamps, he just happened to see it once, is that his 2 feet just landed exactly at the same time. I think normally when a horse jumps, it's kind of one then the other. Yeah. But the two of them just got stuck at the same, and he just kind of toppled over. He was a bit top heavy, so. But he's an exceptional racehorse. The question we have is, and nobody can answer this at the moment, because Willie said afterwards he even could go for a champion chase.
Yes, couldn't believe it.
So where is he going to run? Because Willie has Energumene and Fernie Hollow for the champion chase. He's got Allaho going for 3 in a row in the Ryanair. And then he's got the Gold Cup. He doesn't really have a Gold Cup horse at the moment. So is he going to stay 3 Mile too? I asked Ruby that question at Barberstown Castle before Cheltenham. And he went, geez, I'm not so sure. He said he'll have to change his running style. He'll have to settle in mid-division and all that sort of thing if he's going to stay 3-2.
You know, I'd run the Gold Cup without any shadow of a doubt.
Allaho. You're going to say Allaho?
Allaho is a more mature, better horse now than when he ran in the RSA. He is just so straightforward now.
Yeah.
I think he would gallop all day long.
Yeah, he's turning 9, but yeah. So Gallopin was going to play maybe the performance of the week, because to beat Bob, you said earlier, maybe it wasn't the proper Bob.
No, it wasn't. No, I think when he clattered the 4th last, I think that was game over for Bob.
Yeah, he did. Now, he still won by 40 lengths, so I don't know.
Yeah, good point.
On to the Pertemps final, 3rd win, the great finish, just got up to beat your horse, Ala Philippe. I thought Winter Fog might have a chance at the last, but he was a bit slow at that. Drive and finish. Like, what the steward's inquiry went on for 10 or 15 minutes for?
And Paddy Brennan said there was no interference.
Sure, there was none.
The only thing is,
drifted a bit.
Well, I tell you why it went on for so long. Because it takes the winner so long to get back. So it took the jockey ages to actually get into the steward's room. Okay. So there's your answer.
Okay, very good.
I'm glad I got something right anyway.
The place I was watching the Ryanair in, every time Allaho came to a fence, and they'd done this for a full circuit, they just go, oh, hey! And obviously
I'm glad they didn't do it for Gallopin Deschamps.
Yeah. I presume everybody had Allaho on multiples and stuff. He won by 14 lengths. He was basically as impressive as he was last year. His jumping is brilliant.
So good. He's so straight. He's just straight. Everything is straight. Puts his feet out. Gorgeous.
He looks like even me and you could ride him.
After the week I've had, he's going to be some horse.
Flooring Porter, we spoke about the Stairs Hurdle, that the crucial furlong on this race was the first furlong. Paul took a pull in his in Classical Dream, and Danny got a solo, and he just gave it a brilliant ride.
Yep.
To sit at the top of the hill and to sit again, to jump, say, 2 out and to sit again, and then to kick off the bend. and to grab the reins with his left hand to keep him straight after the last. All that stuff was just
brilliant. Well done, Danny. Super right.
Cool Cody, an 11-year-old, won the plate by 6.5 lengths.
This doesn't suit you now. 11-year-olds winning at Cheltenham.
So I have a couple of stats to give you later on, so I'll come back to that one.
Okay.
But Cool Cody, very brave, tried to make all, got past before the turn in, came back again to beat Imperial Alcazar by 6.5 lengths. So very good performance. Love Envoy won by a length and a quarter for Harry Fry and Johnny Burke. I personally don't think it was the strongest mares novice hurdle in the world.
No.
I'd say Brandy Love or maybe Allegory.
Willie's two best probably novice mares weren't running.
I maybe thought one of those two would have won it if they were in it, but they weren't. Love Envoy stays really well, had won over 2.5 miles, and actually that's a trend on previous winners of this race, so something to keep an eye on. Chambard, I'd say it has set a record. It must be the only horse ever. This was his 6th run since the 1st of January. 6th run this year. 10-year-old novice.
Won his last two and started at what, 40 to 1?
40 to 1, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Won by 2.5 lengths from Mr. Coffee, who looked like a winner, but that's what Mr. Coffee does.
Mr. Coffee's some crack, isn't he?
Yeah, he's...
Some night we're going out in the town, myself and Mr. Coffee, and we're going to give it socks.
I'd say if he was around in the 60s or 70s, he'd be a hippie. He's just,
Yeah, he's just mad. He's a mad... We can't say what he is, but you know what we're thinking. He's just mad.
On to Friday. A brilliant day for punters in terms of lots of favourites winning, etc. Ireland won the 7 of them. Starting with Oban in the first, he won by 2.5 lengths. If he was carrying £7 more, £10 more, he still would have won. Yeah. He absolutely bolted.
He's a massive chance in Champion Hurling next year.
Yeah, obviously difficult for a 5-year-old, especially if he's going against maybe Sir Gerhard and Constitution Hill and Honeysuckle. Could be an amazing race, but he absolutely bolted up.
Yep.
Stateman, again, he bolted up as well. Very good performance, considering he came from Maiden Hurdle in Limerick to win off 141. Like, it's a decent rating. And he came round the outside.
Did you hear Paul Townend's interview afterwards, straight after the race with Alice Puckett? He goes, he must be some horse to win, because he said he took all kind of danger out of the equation. He went around them and everything. So
he gave him a tour at Cheltenham.
He did give him a tour, so it was a hell of a ride. Yeah.
But I suppose he probably knew a lot in hand.
I should say. Yeah.
He probably knew a lot in hand, so he just done the safe thing and went round them. Yeah. But very good horse.
Manila Crooner, did he win the Albert Bartlett? No.
Manila Crooner didn't win the Albert Bartlett. And the one I tipped up, Ginto, might have won the Albert
But
Bartlett.
you did mention the winner, the nice guy, named after yourself, time and time again.
Yeah, well, a couple of weeks ago, I actually had the page written out for him to tip him up, but I seen the Winter Fog was 8 to 1. I couldn't believe the price, so I tipped up him instead. But Ginto, very, very, very sad. I think 4 horses died for the week, which is not good. But Ginto, considering over the next couple of years, he's probably the horse that Gordon Elliott thought, geez, I might win a Gold Cup with this fella. He didn't really travel that well, and then just as he turned in, he came back in the bridle. It was the best he travelled all race. But at the same time, the nice guy won very, very easy. Beat Manila Cocooner by 5 lengths. I'd say he'd have a chance maybe in an RSA next year, the Brown Advisory, because he wouldn't be quick enough for the 2.5 mile race. So he could be a nice chaser. And certainly Manila Cocooner, he made 2 mistakes, but he jumps hurdles very big.
He attacks them.
So I'd say he could make a good chaser.
Okay.
On to the Gold Cup, and Mikey Fogarty's A+ Tard won.
Yeah. Was it your lay of the meeting?
Yeah. He didn't jump too good in the Ryanair 2 years ago, didn't jump very well in the Gold Cup last year. This year he jumped brilliantly.
He did, and it wasn't extravagantly brilliant.
No.
It was more just kind of...
It was a little bit like Gallagher, it was just very neat and tidy.
Wasn't wasting time in the air, just...
I'd say what suited A+ Tard quite a lot this year, that there was no big front runner in it, there was no Frodon, there was no Native River. They just went a nice gallop. Yeah. He got into his rhythm, he jumped very well. And even though Rach got blocked before they turned in, I'd say that probably helped her. Yeah. It delayed her run an extra furlong, and she just bombed away. It was like back to the Haydock performance. So I don't think we've seen the proper A+ Tard at Christmas, that's for sure.
No, definitely not.
Only 3 to go. Billaway. Delighted to see Billaway win. And in fairness to the horse, like, he's been beaten in a numerous photo finishes, Punches Town and twice at Cheltenham. He's a mad way of jumping. He's left and right. He's up. He's big. He's short. Every fence is different. But Patrick was exceptional on him. He just lets him pop away. He doesn't try and bully him. And then when he got the last fence out of the way, he kept at him and at him.
Yeah, he did.
Wing leader, as I said, he was a bit unlucky what Jamie Codd did with Mighty Stowaway, taking him on, come down the hill. But wing leader, I'd say David Christie is still crying.
Puking.
He jumped fantastic, ran a great race, and just was unlucky.
Just did everything and won, but didn't win.
Yeah. Ellie May, as we mentioned earlier on.
Well done, you. Nap at the meeting.
Thanks be to God. We did mention that Mount Ida might jump to her right, which she did, because her second time going left-handed over fences. Concertita was a bit low. She hammered 2 of them out of the ground. I think 5 out and 3 out. So I thought Ellie May might beat them a bit easier, but she didn't. Pink Legend was second, ran a cracker 33 to 1. But Ellie May battled just about. And the last race of the meeting, people were singing, what was the song they were singing for Ellie May?
Ellie
Na, na,
May,
na, na,
Ellie
na, na,
May,
na.
Ellie May.
Imagine if Langer Dan had won.
Langer Dan.
It'd be the same thing again.
Yeah,
but anyway, he was gone at the second. Banbridge won the last for Joseph. Very, very nice horse. He won by a length and a half from Cobbler's Dream. Hollow Games was third. But yeah, so
we got there.
Some brilliant performances, some what would you say?
I don't know. What are you trying to say?
Just a couple of mad moments. I suppose the three maddest moments were Tiger Roll getting chinned.
Yes.
Shishkin running no race.
Yeah.
And Galloping the Champfall at the last.
Mental.
They were three mental moments. But bar that, sure, it was a brilliant week. Cheltenham never ever disappoints. And this year, 2022, was as good as ever.
Was that the week that was?
Yep.
That was the week that was. So Upping The Ante viewers, we have got a treat for you now because it's Gavin Lynch's stat attack. Last year he brought us some brilliant stats after the festival and he's going to do likewise this time. Take it away.
We're going to start with Willie Mullins. Did you ever hear of him?
I did, yeah.
Good trainer.
P. Mullins.
He's up to 88 winners now, so in 2024 he'll break the 100 hopefully.
Go break it next year.
Maybe. He'd 10 winners, 6 grade 1s, 2 grade 2s, the County Hurdle and the Hunter's Chase. But just to tell you that apart from the winner, the nice guy of the Albert Bartlett, his biggest price winner, the other 9 were 11-4. So he was definitely the punter's friend this week. 16 of the 28 winners were SP'd at 3-1 or less. So I'd say bookies. Now, they had a great day on Thursday, but Friday, I think, punters definitely went ahead.
It makes an Ante-Post show very hard.
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah, because some of them, like, do you go and tip up Facile Vega 4-1 and stuff, do you know?
Sure, how could you,
Yeah. The 9 handicap price winners, there was 9 handicaps, and the average price of the 9 winners was 22-1. So just that was not good for punters at all. The other 19 races averaged 3.9-1, just under 4-1. And if you take out the 2 18-1 shots, Marie's Rock and the Nice Guy, the other 17 races, they averaged 9-4. So certainly it was a punter-friendly week, that's for sure. Gordon Elliott had only 2 winners from 60 runners, the Coral Cup and the Cross Country, so no grade 1 or grade 2 for Gordon, so that wasn't a good week. He had 11 horses pull up, including Mighty Potter Braeside, St. Felicien, Granois, Grand Paradis, Frontal Assault, and that's not including
Jim. You have 7 or 8 seconds?
I don't know, Dave, yeah.
7 or 8 seconds,
okay.
Yeah.
But just, I'm sure he wasn't jumping with joy afterwards.
No.
Paul Nicholls, I don't know, like, people complain about the field sizes and England versus Ireland, and Ireland have now starting to dominate a bit. But I don't know, Paul Nicholls had only 9 runners for the week. Their SPs were 125-1, 11-1, 28-1, 7-1, 14-1, 80-1, 18-1, 25-1, 11-2. That was his 9 runners for the week.
And like, you explained this to me, right? On Paul Nicholls, right? He's spoken in the lead up to the festival how Time White had been laid out for the Grand Annual. All year, everything was geared towards the Grand Annual. He got a mark of 142. He thought he was well handicapped, and everything is leading towards the Grand Annual, okay? He takes him out because of ground. A horse who has won officially on heavy ground in France and has won on soft ground, really soft ground at Doncaster. Like, why take him out?
I don't know. He other withdrawals there. Brave Man's Game, Mike Fabulous, St. Calvados, Simply the Bets.
St. Calvados loves deep ground.
I'll give you an example, right? Tornado Flyer, I thought he'd no chance in the King George. Most people thought he'd no chance. Willie sent him over. Now, I know the owner wanted to run him and stuff. Willie said, right, we'll send him over. He would off 28-1 in the King George. He wins the race. Do you know what I mean? You have to take the odd chance.
Yeah, if you don't shoot, you won't score, Gavin.
Yeah, I think if the big English trainers don't compete more at Cheltenham, it's not going to change.
Yeah.
Novices and handicaps in 2027 of the 10 that there was then were novices to win the handicaps. Last year was 6 out of 9. This year was 5 out of 9. That includes the Boodle. So if you want to say it's 4 out of 8. But novices still have a very good record. In 2021, Britain only won 2 of the 9 handicaps. This year they won 5 out of the 9. So giving them less and giving Irish horses more certainly made a difference. There were 4 handicap chases this year and Britain won the 4 of them, which is very interesting. And in fact, if you look at the 12 horses that were in the first 3 in those races, only 1 of them was Irish out of 12. So,
wow.
There was 5 championship races. You know them: the Champion Hurdle, the Champion Chase, the Stayers, the Ryanair, and the Gold Cup. So Ireland won all 5 of them, right? But there might be grounds for optimism if you're an English or British viewer. Is that 4 of those are 8 years old, namely Honeysuckle, Energamine, Allaho, and a Plutarch. They're 8, turn 9. And of the 10 wins for Britain, 5 were on handicaps, 1 was in a grade 2, but 4 were grade 1. So Constitution Hill, he's now can go hopefully for the champion hurdles. That gives them hope. Edward Stone won the 2 mile, won the Arkle, so he might go for the champion chase. And Long Press won the Brown Advisory, so he's going for the Gold Cup. So that's grounds for optimism on the bigger scale.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
agreed.
Also, in terms of age, 23, I don't include the cross country or the Hunter's Chase because any age can win those, right? No, but they do. The Hunter's Chase won't be...
It doesn't suit your stats, Gavin.
But a 10-year-old wins the Hunter's Chase every year. So
perfect, yeah.
And the cross country, sure, an 11-year-old won it last year.
Yeah.
We keep using that one.
Gavin's favourite joke of all time.
So that leaves you 26 races. 23 of the 26 were won by horses aged 8 or less.
So you're right then.
No, but just it's something, it's not about being right or wrong, but it's a pointer towards winners.
Yeah.
The 3 older ones, Global Citizen, Cool Cody and Chambard, even though Chambard's a novice, they were 10, 11 and 10 and they won 3 handicap chases. So all 13 hurdle races were won by horses aged 8 or less. So they have a chance maybe in a handicap chase, but basically they've no chance in the races.
Excellent.
That's it.
That's your stat attack. Fantastic stuff from Gavin Lynch. So now, folks, it's time for the result. Yeah, it's time for the result to tell you who won between myself and Gavin. This was the bit I've been dreading, Gavin. Well done, sir.
No bother.
Well done. It's a win for Mr. Gavin Lynch, who won. You didn't really come off the bridle, really, considering I didn't have a single winner. Yes, minus 24 points to me to a 1 point level stakes. No joy, unfortunately. 11 horses out of the 24 managed to get there and run in the races, so that was obviously disappointing. That's something I'm going to have to review and try and make sure that I actually tip horses that run in the races that I tip them for and that they get their 1 piece. The week before was a bitter blow to me. Manila Crooner, Might I, who I had tipped twice, Highway Jewel in the Hunter's Chase, then Shall We Have One More ran in the Supreme, and oh Lord. But anyway, it was a poor show. 4 seconds. Alaphilippe was probably the most gut-wrenching of them. Tipped up a 10-1. Alaphilippe, that was tough. Tiger Roll was tough, of course. Tipped up a 13-2. Ahoy Senior was just beaten by a better horse, but he was tipped a 10-1 as well. And then Time Hill again, second again. So 4 seconds out of 11 horses that ran for me, but it was very poor. I'm sure the Racing Post and Bet365 will be writing me a strongly worded letter, Gavin.
Be grand.
Very disappointing.
But look at if you know you're looking for a bit of value, there's no point in tipping up Alahos at 2-1, say for a Ryanair and stuff like that. People will be giving out to you just as well.
Yeah.
So.
And look, I've got abused on Twitter, as I deserve to be. Send me all the abuse you can get, because I deserve every bit of it. To have no winner in a series like Upping The Ante is bitterly disappointing. So I apologise to everybody who followed my tips. Hopefully next year, well, they mightn't have me back now after that, but if I am back next year, hopefully we will get a few winners.
Well, this is our 5th year doing it as well.
This is our 5th year doing it, yeah, exactly. Gavin, you had 3 winners.
Yeah, Long Press, 4-1 only there last week. When I tipped it up. Flooring Porter 4-1, Ellie made 8-1, so that wasn't too bad. Placed horses, Wing Leader looked all over, winner until the last 20 yards.
Rough luck.
American Mike well beaten in second, Fildor well beaten in second. Ginto, I thought, it's hard to know. I think he was around even money at the time when misfortune struck, unfortunately for him. He was 6-1. Tell Me Something Girl had a chance, he was 5-1. Wrong race for Sir Gerhard, tipped him up for the Supreme, but he went for the wrong one. Gallop and Champ, I tipped him up for the Brown Advisory, he went for the Turners. Brave Shaska, I thought would have had a right chance in the Grand Annual, but went off 80-1 in the Arkle instead. So them things.
You weren't in love in Venetia for that?
I don't understand that, but there you go.
Okay.
But yeah, so not too bad.
Not too bad. Well done. Well, congratulations on your victory. A very richly deserved victory for Gavin Lynch in this year's series of Upping The Ante. So before we let you go, we're going to have one pick for the 2023 Cheltenham Festival. Yes, the preview nights are starting early here on Upping The Ante. But the reason we're doing this is because last year, while I had a dismal performance in the show, I actually did tip up Statler for the National Hunt Chase at 20-1. This time, last year, in this very studio, I tipped up Statler for the National Hunt Chase 20-1. So this year I'm also tipping a 20-1 shot, and it is Zanahiyr for the Stayers Hurdle. I thought Zanahiyr ran a terrific race in the Champion Hurdle. Obviously was the best of the males, was beaten by 2 females in obviously Epitaunt was second and Honeysuckle won the race. But just the way he lobbed through the race, Gavin, he just tanked through it. Looked like he really enjoyed himself. And for me, he's still only a 5-year-old. Gordon Elliott's surely going to give him one more season over hurdles. I'd love to see him in the Aintree Hurdle. I don't know if that'll come too soon. But 2.5 miles, then next year up to 3 miles. Obviously, Flooring Porter is, you know, that's where he has to get to Flooring Porter. But Flooring Porter's probably going to run the Lismullen hurdle in Navan. Then it's going to go to Leopardstown at Christmas and then the Stairs hurdle. Yeah. I would love to see Zana here over 3 miles next year. Let's see how he goes.
I'd say he could take him on a Lismullen hurdle.
He could take him off.
Because Gordon usually has them ready early in the season.
Absolutely, and I'd love to see him in something like the Long Walk hurdle as well. I think that would really suit him. I think Zana here, just the way he travels, even on the flat, he was a proper stayer. He's a galloper, he's an end-to-end galloper, and I think the Stairs hurdle next year as a 6-year-old is going to be made for Zana here. He's 20-1 with Bet365. So Zana here is my first selection for the 2023 Cheltenham Festival. Now last year, Gavin, you picked Gallop in the Champs. You spotted him before most people. Very unlucky, obviously, with Gallop in the Champs. But who is your Gallop in the Champs this year?
Going to go for the nice guy in the Brown Advisory.
Okay.
He definitely can't go in the Turners because he's not quick enough.
Yes.
So will he go for maybe the... presumably he's going to go chasing. Will he go for the Brown Advisory or will he go for the National Hunt Chase? I'd imagine he'd go for the Brown Advisory. So I think he's around 10-1. Give or take.
And you got to like them types that show nothing at home and then just come alive on the track. He was going away at the line.
Like Paul Townend picked Manila Cocooner, but he travelled very well. You have to remember as well, see, there's bumpers for you, right? He ran in 2 bumpers.
Here we go.
No, but he ran in 2 bumpers before Christmas and went hurdling. Brilliant. Instead of wasting a year. Yeah. And now look at him. I'd say it's probably because of his age. But to go and win a Bartlett, having only had 1 run over hurdles, that says a lot about the horse.
Yeah.
And he looks an honest horse, so if he jumps well, I could see him win the Brown.
Threw the stats out the window, did the nice guy. So there's your first 2 selections for the 2023 Cheltenham Festival. It is Zana here in the Stairs hurdle, and it is the nice guy in the Brown Advisory. So folks, that is it. That is it for another series of Upping The Ante in association with Bet365. It's been tremendous fun coming in here and spending every Tuesday with you, Gavin. It's certainly shortened the winter, hasn't it?
Yeah, no, it definitely has. To me, I just adore Cheltenham. It's my favourite 4 days in any sport, whether it's golf or football or anything else. It's just amazing, yeah, love it.
I had to laugh. Your man from the Flooring Porter Syndicate told me the other day, Ned Hogarty, he goes, I have 3 beautiful kids, but it was the best day of my life when Flooring Porter won. So I think we're similar, I think, with Cheltenham. Yeah, no, it's been a terrific couple of months. And thanks to you, our Upping The Ante viewer, for watching, for staying loyal through the winter and into the spring. Thanks for joining us. And hopefully we'll be back next season as well. I've been David Jennings. He's been Gavin Lynch. Thanks for watching Upping The Ante.